Hi everyone, it's Alex and I'm back with another video tonight. And for today's new video, I'm going to be doing my first ever Amazon book haul. And to start it off, I'm going to start with the first book that I got from Amazon was The Afterlife Academy by Frank L. Cole. And he is one of the most recent authors that I've discovered. And I think he's gonna write some really good books for this year, and I hope they're all gonna be awesome. And I think this book's about a 12-year-old boy named Walter Prairie, and I'm sure he'll go on some really awesome adventures. Like if he's like in the afterlife, and if you ever want to find out what's gonna happen to him and what his adventures are gonna be like, you should go read this book, and I'll highly recommend it for anyone who likes the supernatural or ghosts and the paranormal activity and all kinds of demons and monsters, you name it. And I'll recommend it for you. And I will be moving on to the next book. The next book is The House on Hoarder Hill. And it's by Mickey Lish and Kelly Guy or Gay, however you pronounce it. And if I can't pronounce that last name correctly, don't worry about it, and it's no big deal. And they're both new authors that I discovered. And I heard there's another book coming out, and it's going to be the sequel to this one. So I pre-ordered the sequel. And if you two lucky authors are watching this video, this shout out goes to you both because you're really awesome and talented authors. And thank you so much for following me on Instagram, and I enjoy following you too. And I'm going to be moving on to the next book that I got. The next book I have is Janitors by Tyler Whitesides, and he is another new author that I recently discovered. And I think this book series is gonna be all about all kinds of janitors with like superpowers. And I believe this book, the first book's gonna be about a young boy named Spencer Sombro, and I'm sure he'll go on some awesome adventures with his classmates. And I can't wait to find out what they're gonna discover and learn about any janitors that they discover. And if you're into like magic, I'll recommend it for anyone who likes Harry Potter, magic, you name it. And Tyler Whitesides is another author who also followed me on Instagram, and I just want to say this shout out goes to him too as well because he's awesome, and I think he did a great job with this book series, and I can't wait to read it one day in the future. So I hope you guys enjoy this book. If you guys ever want to read it someday, then that's good. And I will be moving on to the next book. The next book I have is Janitors Book 2, Secrets of New Forest Academy. And this is the second book to Janitors. And I like this cover, and there's this really big reptilian like monster, and I bet there's gonna be even more adventures to discover when you read the second book. If any of you guys ever finished the first book, and I like the cover art, and this purple, it has a really good vibe in it. So I'll highly recommend it for anyone who likes the Janitors Book series. and I will be moving on. The next book I have is Janitors Book 3, Curse of the Broomstaff. And this is another cover art that I really like the most. And I believe there's going to be like some secret societies of janitors with really cool powers. And I bet there's going to be some janitors who are good. And there's also janitors that could be villains too as well. And I can't wait to find out what's going to happen whenever I read this series someday. And for those of you who do not know, I do love books that have magic in it, because I do like Harry Potter too as well, because that has magic too. And Harry Potter is like my number one favorite series of all time, for those of you who do not know. And I am proud to be a Potterhead, and I'm not afraid to admit it. And this vibe is really amazing, and her hair on the front cover is amazing. And she looks really fierce with that spear. So I'll highly recommend this book for anyone who is a big fan of Tyler Whiteside's. And I hope you enjoy it. And the next book I have is Book 4, Janitors, Strike of the Sweepers. And I think this is the 4th book in the Janitors series. And I believe this is going to be awesome too as well. Like, Spencer and his friends who are going to form like some kind of group called the Rebel Janitors. And I bet they're going to fight a lot of really supernatural and powerful supervillains. And if you guys are into like the Janitors book series and books that are about magic, I'll highly recommend this book. And this cover is really amazing and fierce, because I don't know if this guy's gonna be like a villain or maybe some kind of hero or anti-hero or something. And I do think it's really cool. So I will be moving on to the next book. The last book in the Janitor series is Janitors, Heroes of the Dustbin. And I really love this cover. And I think these three female villains or witches, because they're kind of giving me the Sanderson sisters vibes, because they remind me of those witches from Hocus Pocus. And I really love that movie, especially around Halloween. Like, I think the one witch in the middle reminds me the most is like of Winifred Sanderson, and the shorter witch reminds me of Mary Sanderson, and then the other witch, who is also tall and thin, would remind me of Sarah Sanderson. And if you're into like witches or magic or Harry Potter, I'll recommend this book for you. If so, that would be great. And I will be moving on now. And the next book I'll be showing you guys now is Potion Masters, which is also written by Frank L. Cole. And I believe this book is going to be about a 12-year-old boy named Gordy Stitzer. And he's like from a secret society. And I think he comes from a family of potion masters. And I think that's really awesome, because it gives me like Harry Potter vibes too as well. And especially Professor Snape vibes, like Severus, Severus Snape, Severus, Severus, Severus Snape, Dumbledore! If you guys are familiar with that song, you should check it out on YouTube and the internet, because it's really hilarious. And it will make you want to laugh your heads off if you hear that song. And I'll highly recommend Potion Masters to all of you guys who are into like magic and Potion Masters and everything. If so, then that's wonderful. And the next book I'm going to be showing you is Potion Masters Book 2, the Transpiracy Tunic. The Transpiracy Tonic, because this is the second book in the Potion Masters series. And I really like this cover because, like, I can tell these are tentacles. And I think Gordy's going to be fighting a monster in that picture. And I'll recommend this book too for anyone who can read like book 1. And I think this is going to look really cool. So I will be moving on to the next book. And the next book I have is Potion Masters Book 3, The Seeking Serum. And this is the conclusion to the Potion Masters series. And I believe Gordy's gonna go on some really cool adventure. Like if you read this third book, if you ever finish like the second book in that series. And I'll recommend that one too as well for anyone who's into like magic and potions and alchemy and all kinds of cool stuff. Then that would be awesome for you guys. And now I'm going to be moving on. Now the next book I'm going to be showing you is called Wizard for Hire, and it's by this new author that I also discovered called Albert Sky. And I believe it's about wizards and all that stuff. Because if you guys are into like wizards and sorcery and Harry Potter, I would recommend this book for you. If so, then that's awesome. And I think that would be a good read. And I also do like wizards, and I believe in them. And for those of you who do not know that, wizards are also from the Renaissance era, like say the 12th century or something. And wizards are also known to be magicians, and they are super powerful too. And I will be moving on. And the next book is Wizard for Hire, Book 2, Apprentice Needed. And I really love this cover because just right there's a pirate and there's a young boy who's about to fight this evil pirate. And for those of you who do not know, I'm actually really into pirates because I have a big fascination with them. Like when I was a kid, I actually dressed up as a pirate for Halloween, like when I was 11. And if you guys are into like wizards, pirates, Harry Potter, or anything that involves magic, then I would recommend this book if you finish the first one in the Wizard series. If so, then that's great. The last book in this series is Wizard for Hire, Magic Required. And I love this color, purple, because it looks so mystical and it has like a potions vibe. Like if Professor Snape was reading this book, he would probably give it a thumbs up because even though he hardly smiles that much in Harry Potter, like this book is awesome and this is amazing. if you ever read this book. And if you like this book, I'll recommend it for you. If you finish the second one, then that's great. The next book I'm going to be showing you guys is Quest Chasers Book 1, The Deadly Cavern. And it's by these two authors, Grace and Thomas Lockhaven, who I believe that are husband and wife, and I think this book is about a girl and a boy named Evie and Tommy, and I believe they're gonna go on a really cool adventure. And for anyone who likes friendship adventures and all kinds of cool stuff, and I would recommend this book, then if so, then that's good. And I hope you enjoy it. And the second book in this series is Quest Chasers Book 2, The Screaming Mummy. And this is the sequel to the first book in the Quest Chasers series. And I also heard there's going to be a third book coming out pretty soon, hopefully in the future. And if you guys are into like adventures, quests, mummies, and all kinds of cool stuff like that, I would recommend this book. If you finish reading book 1, then that's great too as well. I hope you enjoy it. And the next book I have is Confessions of a Class Clown by Ariane Costner. And I believe it's about a young boy whose name is Jack Costner, who also happens to be a class clown. And if you guys are into like books like this, and if you guys are into like class clowns and humor and friendship and all kinds of that fun stuff, I would recommend this book. And I also love this little dinosaur on the front cover. It is so cute. And now I'm going to be moving on to the last book I'm going to show you. Now, this special final book I'm going to show you is actually going to be a book set that I also found on Amazon. And this is the Wizard of Oz series by L. Frank Baum, who wrote the first 14 books like over 100 years ago. And there's a 15th book by Ruth Plumley Thompson. And for those of you who do not know, I love The Wizard of Oz. And I think they did a really good job with the book set. And I think this series is going to be amazing to read someday. And isn't that beautiful? Like, you can see the Emerald City and the rainbow. And that's my book haul from Amazon. If you guys have enjoyed it, make sure you go like, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications. And also, please go follow me on Instagram too. And I hope you all have a nice weekend, and make sure you stay safe, stay healthy, and stay strong. And good night, everyone. Bye. I'll be back with another video pretty soon.